gentlemen, it's 5 o'clock. We have a fairly long agenda.
Thanks.
I'd like to get started. Tonight is May 28th, and welcome to the Public Works Committee. I'm Paul Bergdorf, the chair, and I'd like each of the members to introduce themselves. I'm from Latham and Loudonville.
Chris Smith, the Hilltowns.
Jennifer New, the 17th District of Holmes.
Merton Simpson, 2nd Legislative District.
Frank Moriello, 27th District, South Colony.
Paul Miller, 32nd District, Gilman.
Charlie Cal, 30th District, Guilderland.
Okay, great. The first order of business is to approve the previous meeting minutes. Has everybody had an opportunity to review the minutes? And are there any corrections or edits or suggestions? If not, I would accept the motion. Motion by Chris Smith, second by Mr. Kinnear. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, the minutes are adopted. All right, I'd like to do something. Dave, why don't you, I have the item number 1, but it involves Mr. Latina, so I want to make sure he's here. Then he has items number 12 and 13, and he has something of a personal nature that is somewhat important this evening, so I wanted to go out of order. The first one is something that I was actually asked to do as a member of the Audit and Finance Committee. Turns out that a number of times over the past year, we have had situations come up at the TU and at the TU Garage, and most recently at the Justice Center, where we have had some, I don't want to call them surprises, but we've had some costs that have had to be shoehorned into a budget vis-a-vis code issues, maintenance issues, preventative maintenance issues. And in a dialogue in the Audit and Finance Committee, the chair asked me to try to take a shot of working with our committee to come up with a mechanism by which we could, as a county, encourage the county to put, I don't want to call it greater structure around taking a look at some of our infrastructure needs. The infrastructure is never sexy. Going to the TU Garage and figuring out what code issues you have and what structural issues you have, and have that compete with regular county expenditures is always difficult, and I'm sure that's the case from a budgeting point of view. Always a question of priorities. But I came from an environment that did public construction where we, for a lot of different clients, we did what were called facilities condition assessments. And what you do is you go in to a client, and you either go in with your own staff or an outside vendor or a mixture of your own staff or an outside vendor, and you say, let's take a look at our physical plant, and let's take a look at it from 3 points of view. Do we have any code issues, which are really critical, and there are life safety issues which have to be dealt with immediatly? Do we have any structural issues which may not be as critical, but you may have to deal with them over the next 5 years or so? And do we have in place some of the preventative maintenance programs? And so what I tried to do was put together a committee, and it's not a committee of the legislature, it would be a committee led by the county executive's staff, of the Commissioner of General Services and the Department of Public Works Commissioner and the Department of Management and Budget, with 2 appointees of the legislature, to sort of make a recommendation for inclusion in next year's budget as to how we could start this process. Now, I will tell you that I had told Commissioner Latina that I would get it to him and try to have a meeting before we reach this point. We tried last week. Not a good week during a holiday weekend. But this is basically a structure to try to organize a discussion which the county executive could consider. So with that, I would, sort of throw it open for discussion. Dave, any?
The general services, we have a lot of maintenance contracts that we track. We put them through, actually, the legislature, a lot of the contracts as far as our maintenances goes, as our HVAC systems goes. Every year, we do a 3-year contract on those for all preventive maintenance. Back in 2011, there was a facilities assessment that was done for 12 buildings. It was done by SAIC. It was an in-depth look at all the buildings that we go back and we look at every once in a while to see what we think is coming up on there. Like the boilers for this building that was in there that we took care of. We've been slowly chipping away at all those over the years. Most of the, right now, I have some people on my staff right now compiling with the vendors as they're going around looking at the age of the equipment, getting serial numbers, whether the equipment is going to age out, whether it's worth repairing, what the cost of repairs, getting those types of estimates. And we're working on a spreadsheet with all the maintenance contractors as far as we go that way, if this goes through, to get a jump on it.
So, yeah, I mean, that would be the groundwork that would go into this.
Yeah.
But it's more than just boilers. This is roofs, this is...
Right, most of the roofs, when we do a roof, we usually get a 20-year warranty on a roof. We passed something, I think, a few months ago for this roof here where we had to do some repairs on it, but with that repair that we're doing on it, we're also getting another 20-year warranty on the roof. So that's the type of things that we do when we do roofing projects. The Cornell Co-op roof has been done. There's a small roofing project we may have to do with the TU. That project was done. The nursing home roof was done. So, we keep we have some warranties on the roofing right now. So it's just, when you run into the unknowns that, your structure that
TU garage.
TU garage, you run into that, structural issues with that you really get hit hard, especially when they came up with, they just came up with this 3-year, every garage has to be done every 3 years for code inspection. So, once we get that done, we'll have to do, again, Spruce Street Garage will probably have to get done. We'll have to do, a code inspection and an engineering inspection on the Spruce Street Garage, which will probably need some major work too. So these are things that every day that we look at as we're going through as far as our budget goes, our capital plan. We plan on this always every year in our capital plan, what we feel that we're going to have to do that year. Facility improvements bonds that we do.
So you've already sort of taken the first steps in terms of putting the...
Yeah, well, we always have...
Well, I know that bits and pieces of this was always... in
Yeah,
place.
we always have it in place. It's just taking it and getting into a spreadsheet and saying this is where we are.
And that would that be obviously helpful from a long-term budget point of view?
Of course.
Well, this was referred to both this committee and to law, which meets on Thursday. I would like to move this along, because if we're trying to do something in preparation for this year's budget cycle, we should probably, as a planning document, we should probably move along with it. I would obviously be willing to meet with any of the county executives folks if they have ways in which you think that this could be improved. I do see this as your committee, though. This is not the legislature telling you how to do your job.
Yeah,
It's,
most of the, the repair work and the maintenance is usually on budget. Most of the major improvements that we do are in the capital plan, which we submit our capital plan. We've already submitted the capital plan now. We can always go back and make adjustments on it, but we, every once in a while you get into that unforeseen thing and you have to go make that adjustment to the capital plan. But I think we got a pretty good handle as far as budgeting this year on what we're gonna do, what we're gonna replace as far as units go. We've done the boilers here, we've done the boilers at the Justice Center. We're looking at, the Mercantile. We're also looking over at Family Court. We're getting pricing on that.
well, I know when I first came on, one of the first things that Darrell Duncan did years back was he brought in a vendor to do a facilities assessment of all the DPW buildings.
Right.
Now, I never saw the result of that and was told it was scores of buildings, throughout DPW, so I don't know to what extent that was, how extensive that was. I was kind of amazed that for the amount of money that they were spending, they were getting that much work, so I don't know what the work product was.
Yeah, I know, and Luke, I was talking with Luke, I know the CAIC study for the 12 buildings was over $300,000 to do that. Was a 50% match on a grant funded basis. Can we do it in-house? I would probably think, we could probably get a pretty good idea in-house instead of spending $300,000 on that, but $300,000.
That's why we left the option. There's no use spending money if we think we can do it. Maybe you can build off the SAIC to bring it up to date and get a better handle, at least for next year's budget.
Yes.
If that's the case, would people be willing to put this out so it could be further discussed at the law committee meeting on Thursday? Motion seconded by Mert. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? None? Thank you very much. All right, let's go to number 12, which is authorizing an agreement with Architecture Plus regarding engineering and construction services for renovations of the Times Union Center.
Yes, an RFP was put out for design, architectural design for the locker rooms at the Times Union. Those facilities are aged out. We have a lot of the artists are kind of complaining about the look of the facility and the operations of the facility itself over there as far as the locker rooms go. Also in this project too is going to be heating and cooling. It's aged out over there also, so this will be brought into that package also for those rooms. Architecture Plus, they were scored the highest on the 6 bids that came in. There was one lower responsive bidder as far as cost proposal go, but his package, he didn't have the type of work that Architecture Plus had in this type. We've worked with Architecture Plus before. They did the concession stands. They were wonderful. It's a WMB woman-owned business. They're a wonderful group of women to work with. We had no problems working with them.
Okay, time frame for this?
We're looking to probably, I would probably say this is probably going to be maybe a 10-week development once they get their contract. As far as that go, probably by the end of the year, I would probably say the project will be completed.
Now, I remember, didn't we get some grant money from
Yes,
DEC, or I want to say DEC, ESDC?
Yes.
That included this component?
It does, it does. We're dealing with Lucas, or actually Matt Cannon. It was $1 million grant. It included all these projects. We're just finding out now if the project, there were certain funds set for each project, or if the funds were just overall, you could use what you wanted to for those projects. So that's where we are with that right now, in that grant funding.
Okay, great. Questions, members of the committee? If not, we'll entertain the motion. Moved by Paul Miller, seconded by Mr. Cannell. Please signify a vote by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Matters passed. Now, the last thing for Commissioner Latina is...
Actually, this is, excuse me, this is actually Karen. Karen's
Oh, I'm sorry. Karen, why don't you come on up and let's...
Thank you very much.
Somehow I associate copiers with the general...
I am a division, so.
Yeah. Authorizing an agreement with National Business Technologies regarding lease and maintenance services for county copiers.
Yes, this is a very competitive solicitation. National Business Equipment was the lowest responsible bidder. We have their copiers currently, and they are very easy to do business with. We canvassed all of the major manufacturers through the national cooperative contracts.
Okay, is this, did I read this right? There's a savings involved with this?
Yes, actually, compared to 4 years ago, the current price we're going to be paying is $210,000. 4 years ago, we were paying $265,000 for the same copiers.
Phenomenal. Any questions, members of the committee? If not, would entertain a motion. Moved by Paul Miller, seconded by Mr. Kinnear. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. 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 Any opposed? None, the ayes have it. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. All right, let's go back to, we do not have Mr. Felber here.
I'm pinch hitting for him.
Oh, you're, okay. All right, we've got three lease renewals. Do we want to go through them individually, or do we authorize talking about them as a group, or?
You can group them if you want, they're all for the same term and the same amount.
Would,
That would need a motion.
I'll make a motion, we group them.
okay, motion to group them, seconded, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, any opposed? None, we're grouped.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Good evening, I'm Doug McLean, I'm the Assistant GM at the Times Junior Center. I'm pinch hitting for Bob here this evening. As we mentioned, we have 3 lease agreements for authorization. Suite number 23, which is with CDPHP. Suite number 18, which is with Schenectady Electric and Hardware. And suite number 1, which is co-owned by, or co-leased by BBL and M&T. All 3 are for the same term beginning September 1st, 2019 through August 31st, 2022. They are all returning suite holders, so they are currently in the building already, and their lease was increased from $48,500 to the current rate of $51,000.
Okay, members of the committee, any questions?
That's per year, 51,000?
Per year, correct.
Any other comments, concerns? If not, I would entertain a motion. Moved by Mr. Moriello, seconded by Mr. Smith. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? None, the resolutions are passed. All right, are we doing the financial statements?
We can, yes.
Okay.
We have the financial statements for both the parking garage and the Times Junior Center Arena itself. Through April 2019, the first quarter of 2019 has been outstanding. Probably to say, as an understatement, to say that it's been outstanding. Through month end of April 30th, 2019, the parking garage is ahead of budget. The event income was $15,000 compared to $8,700, which was in the budget, so we're almost doubled that. A large part is just due to the event schedule at the Times Junior Center. Our events there have been very strong and have been abundant. Looking at the Times Junior Center Arena itself, through April 2019, our event income was almost $300,000, $293,000, compared to a budget of $88,000. A large portion of that, and reason was we held a e-gaming rehearsal for the first 2 months of or first 2 weeks of April. Fortnite came in and did a rehearsal that was actually of their show that is moving to Chicago and Los Angeles, but they used us as a tech rehearsal, so that was significant income, over $160,000 just for that event alone. Even though no general public actually came into the facility, it was a huge production.
What could you explain what that was?
Yeah, so e-gaming is basically competitive video game playing. It's Fortnite is a popular game amongst kids now, where it's a strategy game, and they play online against one each other. And it was the world champions that were rehearsing in Kentucky for 2 weeks. The production was about 50 tractor trailers full of production as well. It's a huge industry that we'll certainly see more of that programming coming through the Times Junior Center. So through April, we saw a net income of $190,000 actual compared to actually what we had budgeted of a loss of $28,000. So it was a very good month. We had Stars on Ice, Paw Patrol was over Easter weekend, which was a good family show, and even over Easter weekend saw good sales. And then the AFL had their first game of the season, the Empire, and they play again this week. So we've had 4 weeks off, so we expect another nice crowd this weekend.
Point out that they're 5-0.
5-0, they're 5-0, undefeated, first place, things are going well.
Any questions for members of the committee? If not, thank you very much, and we'll bob our best.
Will do, thank you very much.
Okay.
No.
All right. Commissioner Raimondo.
Hello.
Good evening. All right, number 6, authorizing an agreement with Reichenberg Contracting Corp. regarding various projects in the town of Westerlo, Rensselaerville, and Queens.
Hi, Mr. Chairman. This is one of our capital projects where we will be replacing 4 large culverts in Rensselaerville, Westerlo, and the town of Queens. Reichenberg was the lowest responsive bidder. There were 3 bids submitted. We've worked with Reichenberg in the past, and they've done a good job. We are confident that they'll do a good job with this project.
Could you just talk a little bit about the timing with this and the availability of the culverts and when people might expect these to be done?
Sure. So 2 of the culverts are going to be precast concrete boxes, and right now there is a backlog of availability for precast concrete box culverts. Although the project was originally scheduled to be constructed this construction season, 2 of the culverts will likely not be constructed until next spring. The other 2 are metal culverts. The availability of those culverts will be this year, and we anticipate that those 2 culverts will be starting construction within the next couple of months.
Great. Any questions, members of the committee? If not, I would entertain a motion. Moved by Chris Smith, seconded by Mr. Moriello. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It is, the item is passed. Number 7, authorizing an agreement with Tioga Construction Company regarding the superstructure replacement project of CR 253, the Bozeman Kill Road over Norfolk Southern Railroad in the town of Knox.
Yes. This is another one of our capital projects. We'll be replacing the superstructure. It's existing precast concrete beams. We're going to be replacing it with steel. We're going to have a similar issue with the steel for this project. It will not be available for this construction season, although it was scheduled initially to be constructed this summer. We anticipate the steel will be available for construction of the project this coming spring.
Okay, and
Tioga was the lowest responsive bidder.
and also, the steel delivery will impact the schedule, but not the cost, right?
That is correct. They held the cost, yes.
They will hold the cost.
Yeah.
All right, any questions, members of the committee? If not, I would entertain a motion. Moved by Ms. McCall, seconded by Mr. Moriello. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Matter is carried. All right, number 8, authorizing an agreement with DLC, oh wait, this is, are you doing this or is?
I can do it. Unless
Okay.
you're expecting something.
I didn't know if,
Yep. No, I'm good.
okay. Authorizing an agreement with DLC Electric regarding the installation of bollards in front of the Times Union Center.
Yes.
Commissioner.
This is a unique project. We are going to be installing 27 bollards along South Pearl Street near the intersections of Beaver Street and Hudson, so that a portion of South Pearl Street can be closed down during events at the Times Union Center. The county has purchased the bollards with grant money that we received from Homeland Security funds. The contractor will be installing the bollards with bond money.
Okay, talk a little bit, you have a question?
Yeah, I just, has this company done this type of work before? I mean, because these are all manually installed boilers.
Yep, that's an interesting question. They are used to doing work with power poles and trenching into streets and around utilities. So although they're an electrical contractor, they're used to doing this kind of work.
You want to talk about the schedule and what time of day this work will be done?
Sure. This is a project that required a lot of coordination with the city and with the Times Union Center regarding their events. And so there is a very limited time frame under which work can be done. It will be nighttime construction. We're anticipating that it will not take more than 2 weeks, likely even could be 1 week, but it's going to be done in the evening.
All right, any other questions or comments by the committee? If not, we'd entertain a motion. Moved by Mr. Frenier, seconded by Mr. Simpson. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. The resolution is passed. All right, number 9, declaring Albany County lead agency for the purpose of state environmental quality review for the Albany County Rail Trail Bridge over New Scotland Road project. Commissioner.
Yes, we're seeking approval to designate the county as lead agency for the Albany County Rail Trail Bridge project. The bridge is currently being studied for being either replaced or rehabilitated. The project was on the fence between being a seeker type 1 and type 2. In the interest of the public, the public had a lot of interest in this project, so we went seeker type 1 to make sure that we gave every opportunity for public comment and transparency.
Okay, and there will be a special vendor that will, or environmental or architectural resource?
MJ Engineering is on board to do the design, and they are progressing the seeker process
So
for
they're
us.
coordinating the seeker as well?
Correct.
On behalf of the county, who would be lead agency?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, any questions, concerns, comments?
Is this that really low bridge in Tolgate?
It is. Yep.
Any other comments or questions? If not, moved by Mr. Smith.
Is it gonna make it higher at all?
Ooh, sorry.
Yep, if the bridge is replaced, it will be made higher. It will be made to standard, yes.
Twice a year, a tractor trailer gets stuck in there?
At least twice a year.
I'll make a motion.
Moved by Mr. Smith, second by Mr. Simpson. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? None, the matter is carried. Number 10, authorizing the agreement with Atlantic Pavement Marking Incorporated regarding the striping of various county highways. Commissioner.
Hi. Atlantic Pavement was the lowest responsive bidder for our annual pavement marking contract. This contract provides the ability to renew it for 2 consecutive years if both parties agree. It's an amount not to exceed $183,770.
Okay, well, actually, there are 2 numbers in here. You have the 183 and oh, we didn't,
That's a replacement.
okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
There was a
an
handout that
updated-
went around that was a replacement that shows the updated amount was actually 183, as the commissioner said.
Yes, it was originally being requested for potentially up to the value that was budgeted in our line for pavement striping. However, we made it for the amount exact to what was bid.
Okay. Any questions, concerns, comments? If not, I would entertain a motion by Mr. Miller, seconded by Mr. Moriello. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? None, the matter is passed. Number 11, authorizing an agreement with the New York State Department of Transportation regarding the Consolidated Local Street and Highway Improvement Program, i.e. CHIPS. Commissioner.
Yes. This is our annual CHIPS award program. Each year, the state gives us CHIPS money that we can use to spend on rehabilitating our roadways, as well as potentially purchasing new equipment for our department. This year, our award was $4.68 million approximately. We budgeted in our budget line approximately $3.5 million. So what we're asking for is to accept the money that was given to us this year and amend our budget line by the difference, which is approximately $1.15 million.
Okay, and this is an annual event.
This is an annual event.
You generally put in the 3.53 and then top it up to whatever
Correct,
the full amount is.
correct.
Okay. Any questions, concerns from members of the committee? Frank?
And what would the additional monies be used for, over and above what you budgeted?
Well, what, we don't have exactly what it's going to be used for. What happens is there's a rollover amount, and some years we don't use the full amount. It's kind of a cushion in case like an emergency project comes up and we need highway funds available to construct it. So, since I've been in office, we've always had a bit of a cushion, just for that reason.
Okay.
Okay, any further comments or questions? If not, I would entertain a motion made by Mr. Mariello, seconded by Mr. Cal. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
And that is our agenda. I would entertain a motion to adjourn by Mr. Smith, seconded by Mr. Simpson. All those in favor, by saying aye. See you next month.